The goal of the Summer Academy and the idea behind the Summer Academy is really that students do research themselves. They shouldn't just read about it, they shouldn't just hear lectures about it, they should do it really themselves. Just like you can't learn how to play tennis by watching, TV or hearing people talk about tennis, you can't understand really what science is if you haven't done science yourself. So we really wanted them to come here and discover new things, really share the idea of what it means to be a scientist.
Well, our motivation to organize something like that, an academy, summer academy for high school students, was the fact that the exposition of students, the primary school and high school, to molecular biology is very sparse. And we wanted to give motivated students an opportunity to see a molecular biology lab from the inside, and maybe also identify the next generation of talents in this field.
I'm more of a biology and English person. I'm more of a linguistic type person, but I have always loved taking biology and learning about bacteria and cells, so I thought this was definitely a worthwhile experience. What we did in this course was a series of experiments that relate to bacterial phages and what they need to grow, and we altered factors like concentration and types of phages in bacteria to see how they grow. And yeah, that was the whole point.
So the idea of the whole summer project was that they come here and try to isolate phages, viruses that infect bacteria. So they went to the Rhine, took water samples, and then put these water samples onto bacteria and were able to isolate viruses that infect bacteria. And then they took these viruses and were able to look at them under a microscope, electron microscopy. And I just saw the pictures, it's amazing pictures. You see these beautiful viruses that they purified themselves, the students purified themselves from the Rhine. And so the next step will now to also sequence these viruses, also look at their DNA, and maybe they discovered some new viruses. I'm pretty optimistic that they have. Yeah.
I just feel that I would have also really appreciated this opportunity when I was in high school, because I was always very interested, and also the kids, you see that they're very into what they're doing here. And I think they learned a lot in these 2 weeks, also about lab work, because they never been into a biology lab before. They probably have been into chemistry labs before, but not like a real biology lab. So they learned to pipette transparent liquids and see that even if you just pipette transparent liquids, something cool can come out, because you just diluted something you cannot see, but you can still see its effect later on. I think that's something that's giving a big impression on people when you see the effect of something you cannot see. And they're super enthusiastic, and also they are creative, and they were able to express their creativity, and they ask a lot of questions, which is also a good sign for us, because that means they are here because it's fun for them and not just because they have to. And it's exactly the point of this course: have fun and find the spark of joy in science.
Visiting Novartis and Idorsia was great because you got to see people who actually utilized their STEM knowledge in real life situations. And I mean, Idorsia and Novartis are both companies, pharmaceutical companies, that use a lot of biology and chemistry in their work. And so for anyone who's interested in perhaps taking a STEM science course at the University of Basel could see what their future might look like if they successfully complete it. And I thought that was a really valuable experience, which most of us likely would never get otherwise if we hadn't signed up for this course.
I thought museums were quite an important part of this course, because there we learned to draw a connection between our scientific world and a more abstract world that we had in museums through art.
I personally love the look on people's face when they're looking at their experiments and understanding things. They're very cute. I don't know if you got the actual shots of this. I encouraged you to video people when they're actually looking at an experiment and trying to understand what's going on, focused kind of close and thinking. It's a rare and precious moment.
I would say if anyone's interested in the sciences, for example chemistry or biology, they should really take this course, because they might learn quite a bit about whether they truly want to pursue a career in sciences.
Well, I definitely recommend this course to anyone that has any kind of interest in biology or chemistry, because it opens up a lot of doors, and you also meet a lot of people who are interested in the same thing as you, which is a very valuable experience. And I feel like going to Novartis and Idorsia is helpful if you have ever considered a biological course of study. So I recommend this to anyone who has interest in science.